Want to see the best looking boots of 2025? Good, because this is the award ceremony for the 2024-25 Stitchdown Patina Thunderdome, sponsored by Nick's Boots and Grant Stone. We had nearly 1,000 entrants and over 500 finishers in the 4th annual Patina Thunderdome, a footwear aging competition designed to celebrate well-made footwear, fabulous leather, and the highly intelligent people who love them both. Each noble contestant started with a new pair and wore them hard but lovingly for 6 months straight, logging their progress in our partner Patina Project app. I'm Ben from Stitchdown.com, who put on this year's dome along with our incredible sponsors, who created a similarly incredible lineup of over $45,000 in prizes, including plenty of boots. The top finisher in the work category is walking with $5,000 cash, courtesy of Nick's Boots. Thanks, Nick's. While our Open Dome winner will be headed on a trip to Tokyo, where they'll also get a pair of clinch boots, courtesy of Standard and Strange. So what's up with the next Thunderdome and how do I enter, you ask? Well, it'll start on October 1st, 2025 and run 6 months through April 2026. All you need is a fresh pair and a desire to become quite close with them. You'll love it. Trust me. And you can get on the newsletter list for updates at Stitchdown.com today. So who won Thunderdome 4? It's time for the big reveal, counting down the top 10 in both the Work and Open Thunderdome categories. Let's start with 10th place in the Open Dome, Raven Bien Masana's monkey boots from Willie's Handmade Boots, arguably the top bootmaker in the Philippines. Wait, oh, nobody's arguing that? I mean, I agree. I'm just covering myself legally. Okay, definitely the top bootmaker in the Philippines. 2 slightly different shades of Horween Latigo upper leather danced a patina heavy dance over 6 months in the dome, as the elements in time pushed it darker and more caramelly, and honestly, just perfect. I personally really love these boots. I mean, I love monkey boots in general, so predisposed, but really wish I had these. Fabulous stuff. Spokane, Washington's White's Boots has been making some of the world's toughest work boots since 1853. Some of the best looking, too. As proven here by Earth Tone Daddy's 9th place Farmer Rancher and a wonderful natural double shot pull-up leather from Milwaukee Tannery, Seidel. The concept of gentleman's patina comes up in judging every year, and these are that. Nothing overly wacky or jaw-dropping, just incredibly solid wear and care for 6 months with a steady hand on the wheel. Bravo! Thunderdome watchers, competitors, and Stitchdown Discord members alike know a thing or two about K-Van Dev. Last year's Open Dome champion ran it back with another pair from Fortis Boots, once again in a local Indonesian leather that punches way above its perceived weight. One of my favorite things about the Thunderdome is how it lets you look at a style and say, you know what? I could see myself in those. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who now thinks way too much about side zips. The Indonesian T-Core leather lived up to its name, with the black giving way in high wear and flex areas to reveal a wonderful warm tan underneath. We've got another Thunderdome regular. Aaron Huebner takes this competition as seriously as anyone and always chooses a proper weapon. This time, it was these Garrison boots, made by WM Beijing, one of the more intriguing and skilled Chinese handmade bootmakers out there. Unlike a lot of the fabulous natural leathers you see in the dome, the CF Stead Amber Brown Waxed Repello Calf Roughout didn't change that much in color. But in terms of textural evolution and just the shape of these boots, especially with that toe flattening out, mission absolutely accomplished. More rough out. If you look at the final 6-month photos for these Grandstone Garrison boots, every boot in this contest is named Garrison all of a sudden, you might say, damn, that's a nice boot. But if you compare them to month 1 and watch the evolution between the two, you might say, this is the 6th place boot in the 2024-25 Stitchdown Patina Thunderdome. These were a one-off sample, worn by one of Grantstone's warehouse workers in Michigan. Maybe we can talk Wyatt into a run of these things? The 3rd pair of Willies in the Open Dome top 15, and the 2nd in the top 10, was worn by the Filipino bootmaker they call Willie himself to take 5th place. The Toscanello horsebutt from always excellent Italian tannery Conceria Merriam did exactly what you want it to, getting so rich and lustrous and rolling in all the right places. And man, just the shape of these things. That toe spring, marvelous stuff. Oh, that's a good boot. The top flight Nashville-based specialty repair shop Unsung House also has a range of their own house-made boots. And what better place to test out new ideas than the Patina Thunderdome? Grant from Unsung put 6 obviously fruitful months into his 4th place lace-to-toe prototype in Horween Natural Wax Flesh. That wax never stood a chance. And all we can say is, greenlight 'em, Grant. Greenlight these boots. 3rd place, we're getting there. Boot nerds know him simply as Peng, but Flame Panda is the name on the box. Man, did this one have the goods inside. Noble Stitchdown Discorder Chili saw just about everything in these natural Merriam horsebutt service boots, from major backyard projects to a brutal Midwest winter. While both caught abundant indigo crocking, the way that each boot developed differently is just so cool and hugely unique. One, just a perfectly baked, unstructured toe service boot. The other sharing a shape, but revealing more and more distinctive tiger stripes. Because come on, who doesn't want to be a tiger? I also have to say, they look a little like flames? A fitting tribute to the enigmatic maker. Fabulous work, Peng and Chili. From one of the great small brands out there, Parkhurst Allen is so quintessentially just a boot. And when paired with this cognac veg tan from Italian tannery Tempesti, you've got the 2nd place boot in the Open Dome. The leather got a little bit lighter as the months went on for noble contestant Alex Bellis. All the better to let the veg tan canvas become stunningly painted with the life a boot leads. And man, they've led a good one. Congrats on 2nd place. Which means it's time for... Actually, we get a drum roll, Ryan? How do we get a drum roll? Nice. 1st place in the 2024-25 Stitchdown Patina Thunderdome Open Edition goes to these absolutely fabulous self-made monkey boots that just might net maker/wearer Bashtlin. Definitely pronounced that right. Hey, can you make me some monkey boots? DM or 2? I've had a close eye on these since day one, when the absolutely bone-white Conceria Chloe crust, aka unfinished horsebutt, just popped off my screen. That leather soaked everything up over 6 months. And quickly. You probably could have awarded these the top prize from just about any month of the Dome. But it was the way that the boots were also cared for and cleaned up along the way that really sold our esteemed judges. Not to mention, this is just an absolutely dialed lace-to-toe pattern, and these boots are completely badass. Congrats, Bashtlin! You're going to Tokyo! Woo! And congrats to the Open Dome Top 10 and every single contestant who did even a step in a single Thunderdome boot this year. Fabulous work, everybody. Fabulous, fabulous work. Now it's time for the top 10, the Knicks Boots sponsored Work Dome, in which boots get pushed a little harder every day in the line of work duty, and understanding that, are judged with slightly different criteria. Huge thanks to Knicks for putting up all the prizes in the Work Dome, including the $5,000 grand prize. Whew. Let's go. 10th place in the 2024-25 Work Dome. We love a lace-to-toe boot over here, and Zionic Gato's Wesco Jobmasters are a beastly version of the style, with a Scappoose Oregon maker's distinctive contrast stitching and Red Dog oil tan upper leather from Seidel Tanning in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That Red Dog is tough stuff. A true work leather. But this pair was worn hard in all conditions doing surveying work for 6 months, and boy does it show now. Congrats on 10th place! Both Horween Chrome XL leather and Spokane's Whites boots loom large in the Dome every year. But you don't often see CXL in its highly underrated Color 8 form, as we've got here on the 9th place Work Dome MP Shermans, worn by JMP 1986-2002, which I may need to rename one of my children after this. Great name. But these are too pretty for the Work Dome, you may say. Well, wear and care is the name of the game, and you can see in monthly photos how the former was accomplished as a UPS driver, and the latter at home, showing the leather plenty of love. Gentlemen's Work Patina, taking 9th place. 8th place in the Work Dome, more lace to toes. And the first 2025 Work Dome winner's appearance of Horween Wax Flesh, for which the Chicago Tanning Titans Chrome XL leather is flipped over and given a healthy coat of hard wax that you couldn't possibly break completely in 6 months. St. Nick sure tried, though, using these Nick's boots while working commercial construction and also possibly while reading Crime and Punishment. The only crime here is I don't get to keep seeing a half dozen photos of these at the beginning of each month. And last year's Work Dome, T. Cortez won, finished first, with this pair of Frank's Ground Pounders. This year, T. Cortez is back in the top 10 at 7th place with this pair of Frank's Boots Ground Pounders. T. Cortez 1 seems to have a type. This time it's Horween's Black T-Core Cypress, a chrome tan leather with a heavy vegetable retannage that did the work while teaching high school welding and agriculture classes. And boy did they grow on our esteemed judges throughout the process. Wow. That was terrible. Someone put me out to pasture, please. I don't have any welding puns. Great boots, though. Here's a bit from the Patina Project review on the Alaska Kids 6th place Nick's Tanker Pros in Seidel 1964 Ash Gray Roughout. Quote, negative 25 degrees Fahrenheit, constant exposure to snow. Work in daily life in Alaska, including snowplowing, snowmobiling, welding, mechanicking, and Costco runs. End quote. And if I could buy 100 pack of these boots, I just might. Love how the Nick's Boots exclusive 1964 Roughout took to the beeswax protective application. They live in Alaska, for Christ's sakes. And a bunch of brushing. Fine, fine work done up there. In 5th place in the Work Dome, we've got Pale Highlights Black Wax Flesh Nick's Boots, a collaboration with the excellent Long Beach, California shop Butterscotch LBC. Over 6 months in the Work Dome, the wax wore down to reveal the nap underneath, thanks to work restoring houses and plenty more. Love a cap toe work boot, love a wax flesh boot, love these boots at 5th place. The Wax Flesh Dome continues. Doc Lyman spent the early days of the Dome running these 4th place Nick's Boots tall boy MTOs up poles in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida, restoring power to people devastated by both Hurricane Helene and Milton. Working on a 400-acre farm didn't hurt the patina process either, as the Horween tan wax flesh got wonderfully worn on basically every part of the boot that wasn't covered by his pants. And this reminds me, I really need to buy some boots with a Vibram honey lug sole, surely the outsole that patinas the most itself. Bravo, Doc Lineman, on 4th place. Nothing like trotting out a pair of possibly 40-year-old new old stock boots in the Work Dome and having them look so absolutely fantastic at the end of 6 months that they take 3rd place. Rio Thich always does fantastic work in the Dome and chose wisely with these Walker Golden Retriever boots that are likely from the 80s and more handsome than Air Bud himself. The leather? Brown. That's all we know. Other than that these things can take an absolute licking and keep on retrieving. Man, these are cool. 2nd place in the Work Dome. I'll let Shiny Hunter 91 take it from here with some excerpts from his Patina Project review on these Nick's Boots Tall Boys in Horween Natural Dublin. Quote, these builder pros started life building power lines across the country before contending with Hurricanes Helene and Milton, ice storms, and unforgiving briars. They handled it all. I was told that by the end of this competition, the natural Dublin leather would turn these boots into 10-inch foot yams. And boy, did they metamorphose into just that. Once the wax coat on the veg tan begins to warm up with heat and friction, it starts to darken, burnish, and shine. End quote. And wrinkle, for sure. But that's a feature, not a bug, of Horween Dublin, and this may be one of the best examples of that leather I've ever seen. Yay! 10-inch foot yams! And here we are. 1st place in the 2024-25 Stitchdown Patina Work Thunderdome goes to these astounding Keeper Type 2 engineer boots from Indonesia's Bristle Black bootmaker. Januar Duong is a Thunderdome vet, and man does it show here. The waxed Merriam Toscanello horsebutt started out quite beautiful indeed, but 6 months working in a warehouse and as a motorcycle delivery driver pushed this pair somewhere else completely. Somewhere special. The rolls in the horse butt, the way the tall pull-on pattern settled in so perfectly. The depth of color, but also the way certain areas of the Toscanello revealed their grain pattern with time. Astounding, astounding stuff. Congrats, Januar. You just won $5,000, courtesy of Nick's Boots. And congrats to Bristle Black and Conceria Merriam as well for first place in the Work Dome. And to every maker and contestant that loved this contest so hard for 6 months. So that's it. Your top 10 winners for the 2024-25 Stitchdown Patina Thunderdome Work and Open Editions, sponsored by Nick's Boots and Grant Stone. Some of the best looking boots you'll ever see. All it takes is 6 months of wear and care. Check out the entire 45 deep winners list at Stitchdown.com, where you can also sign up for updates on Thunderdome 5, starting October 1st, 2025. You don't want to miss it. Massive thanks to Ted from Patina Project for creating the greatest app in the history of mankind, and for all the ongoing support of the Thunderdome. Even if you're not in the dome, I strongly recommend downloading it. There's no better way to research makers and patterns and leathers and glimpse into the future of what your next pair could be. More massive thanks to all our sponsors who make this contest possible with an astounding prize lineup. Grant Stone, Nick's Boots, Osmo Boots, Iron Boots, Division Road, Limmer Boots, Bob Henderson Handmade Boots, White's Boots, Rolling Dub Trio, Standard and Strange, Sagara Bootmaker, Trickers, Caswell Boot Co., Jim Green Boots, Meerman, Popov Leather, Harker Leatherworks, Homestead Brand, and Guarded Goods. Every one of them is amazing. Can't urge you enough to support them any way you can, either in a future Thunderdome or just when you need some boots. And again, if you want to stay up to date on Patina Thunderdome 5, which starts October 1st, 2025, head to Stitchdown.com to sign up for the Dome Letter, which will tell you everything you need to know about competing and hopefully winning. Endless congrats to every single winner this year. We'll see you next Dome.